Hello, this is Shola Oslo from Fibroids etc. and today I'd like to talk to you about uterine fibroid tumours and the different types of fibroids. Here's a picture of a woman having a hysterectomy. You can see that she's got at least two different types of fibroids, and this presentation will explain to you in detail what the types of fibroids are. Fibroids are muscular tumours that grow in the walls of the uterus. Another medical term for fibroids is leiomyoma, or just myoma. Although fibroids are called tumours, they're almost never cancerous. You can have a single fibroid, or you can have many fibroids in your uterus, and they can range from being extremely small, for example the size of a petit pois, to about the size of a grapefruit, although I've heard of women who've had fibroids as large as watermelons. There are about 5 different types of fibroids: subserosal fibroids, intramural fibroids, submucosal fibroids, pedunculated fibroids, and intercavitary fibroids. Subserosal fibroids are located in the serosa. That's the outermost layer and the outside wall of the uterus. They can cause tissue compression in areas that are surrounding it, such as the bladder or bowel. They're not generally the cause of excessive bleeding, as they don't affect your menstrual flow. The symptoms of these types of fibroids include an enlarged uterus, to the extent that a woman can look pregnant when she actually isn't, increased desire to urinate or incontinence as the fibroid puts stress on the bladder, severe menstrual symptoms such as excessive bloating during menstruation, digestive complaints such as irritable bowel syndrome or constipation due to the pressure that a large fibroid can put on the intestines, back pains and shooting pains down the leg, because some fibroids can put pressure on the nerves that serve both the back and the legs. Intramural fibroids. Intra means inside, so intramural fibroids are those that are found inside the uterine wall. They're the most common type of fibroid tumour. Since they develop and grow inside the uterine wall, the result is that they can make the uterus feel as if it's a lot larger than it actually is, and a lot bulkier too. When they grow, they can cause pressure on both the bladder and the uterus itself, and it can cause pelvic pain, back pain, excessive bleeding, and frequent urination. These types of fibroids may also be responsible for miscarriages and fertility issues. Depending on where exactly they're located in the uterine wall, their symptoms can be very similar to subserous or submucosal fibroids. There are also submucosal fibroids. The mucosa refers to the lining of the uterus, and sub means below. So submucosal fibroids are those tumours that are located just below the lining of the uterus. They often cause prolonged menstrual periods and excessive heavy bleeding. These types of fibroids are also more likely to cause a lot of pain. Typical symptoms of this kind of fibroid include uterine cramps and spasms. Sometimes these can be very strong and almost as powerful as childbirth. This is because the uterus is trying to expel the fibroid. Heavy periods, because the large fibroid mass increases the endometrial surface, resulting in more menstrual blood. And lengthy periods, 5 days or longer, as a result of more blood being shed. Pedunculated fibroids grow on a stalk, and the stalk is called the peduncle. They can develop and grow either inside the uterus itself, making it an intracavitary fibroid, or on the outside of the uterus. Although they're quite rare, they can cause extreme pain when the stalk becomes twisted. The symptoms of pedunculated fibroids can range from very mild to extreme. For example, cramping from the uterine muscles as the uterus attempts to get rid of the fibroid, digestive problems, which include nausea and vomiting, especially if the fibroid is disturbing a nearby organ, such as the small intestine, and extreme pain if the fibroid stalk twists. Intracavitary fibroids are located inside the uterine cavity, and they can be very troublesome indeed. And their typical symptoms include heavy bleeding, uterine spasms and cramps. They can cause painful intercourse, especially if they're located near the cervix. They can also block the fallopian tubes, depending on exactly where they're located in the uterus. They're a common cause of frequent miscarriage because they interfere with implantation and fetal growth. Some doctors have even estimated that this type of fibroid, along with submucosal fibroids, can decrease fertility by up to 70%. So if you're a woman trying to get pregnant and you're not having much success, simply shrinking your fibroids can increase your chances significantly. Other types of fibroids include cervical fibroids, which can grow near or on the cervix, and these can cause sexual intercourse to be excruciatingly painful. And calcified fibroids, these are a very rare type of fibroid where the fibroid has developed calcified deposits, and as we all know, calcium is the substance that makes our bones strong and our teeth strong. It's important to note that you can have more than one type of fibroid. Some women actually have all of the different types of fibroid, so they experience a whole range of symptoms. The next video is going to be very exciting indeed. I'm going to reveal to you exactly which substances cause fibroids to grow. This is going to be important for women who want to stop their fibroids from growing out of control, want to shrink their fibroids, have gone through menopause but their fibroids haven't shrunk. It's going to be important for women who want to get pregnant, or if you simply want to relieve the symptoms of fibroids. If you want to be notified when the next video is up, just enter your name and email address on my website www.fibroidsetc.com.